We are Chris and Jen, and we are on a journey.
We are full-time RVers from Pennsylvania, learning how to live on the road while exploring the outdoors and the history of America.
Join in at To Wander Freely. Hey, so project for today is to try and get these plastic running trim boards to stay onto the back of the truck. I've been fighting these things since literally the day we bought this thing. On the way home, they were flapping in the back, and I've tried all different kinds of adhesive tapes, double-sided tape specifically for automobiles. I've tried Gorilla Glue, super glue. I can't get more than a few months before we're cruising down the highway and I see these things flapping in the breeze back there, and I gotta pull over and rip them off and come up with something else. So today we are trying Loctite Power Grab Ultimate for all conditions, 0-second instant grab. Sounds pretty good. And works on all kinds of materials, specifically aluminum, PVC, and fiberglass, or plastic like this is, which is basically the materials I'm working with. So that was important to me. I chipped off, scraped off all of the old stuff that was on there to try to get this as smooth as possible. You can see I put on an ample amount of the adhesive. When in doubt, put it all on. So we're gonna go slap this thing on here. I've already got one on. You can see I'm using ratchet straps to keep the ends down because that's the areas that are most susceptible to the wind grabbing. I really spent probably a few minutes just holding this down myself to try and really get it to grab. You know, these things seem to do just fine when it's just the truck cruising along. Every time that I have the problem is when the fifth wheel's hooked up and we're on the highway. I mean, it makes sense when that fifth wheel's on, as the wind hits the fifth wheel, it comes down, it must really create some kind of a backdraft, for lack of a better word, you know, that just gets in under here and really starts ripping on these things, because this is always what goes first. I'll hear something as I'm driving, I look back and these things are flopping all over the place. So really, and of course that's when it's the most inconvenient to try and pull over and deal with it, is when you got the fifth wheel hooked up, but that's when the problem is. So, you know, you can't mechanically fasten these things. There's no way to do that without having exposed fasteners, and I don't want that. So it's got to be some kind of adhesive. So I didn't want to take it to a body shop and pay to have it done. I'm sure there's commercial grade stuff out there that'll do the trick. So I'm trying this stuff. This is the most time I've ever spent on it in terms of ripping the things entirely off, really cleaning the truck and the underside of these things to try and get a nice clean surface for the adhesive to really grab. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this does the trick. So I'll keep putting pressure on this for another couple minutes, and then just like the other side, I'll get a couple more ratchet straps and I'll get the ends, and I'll probably just leave those overnight. I mean, it doesn't say that's gonna help at all, but it just makes me feel better to really help the ends of this thing get sucked down to this truck as best as possible. Because once wind starts getting in one of these ends, it's only a matter of time. You know, I mean, it'll just keep getting in, and this thing will just start fluttering a little bit, and it's just non-stop as you're driving. That wind force getting in there is never going to stop. So if we can keep it from getting in the edges and the ends, that should be half the battle.